Good morning, it's me, Nancy, today. I know you're tucked way down there behind the steering wheel. And there's that better? The heat was up very high. It's warming my fingers. My fingers are cold. Today it's -7 Celsius. Don't know what that is. Take away 14 from 32. You don't know what it is. In your language. A lot of the world uses this language, though. So I'm off to pick up little Desmond again. I'm babysitting, and so I'm going to bring him over first thing in the morning, and I'm going to keep him for a while until Mommy gets home from work. I love having him over. He's so sweet. The highlight of my life. I woke up in the middle of the night as I was in so much pain I couldn't go back to sleep. I think it was from I had this awesome soup yesterday. It was so good. It was from Giant Tiger, and it was in one of those cardboard containers, foil-lined cardboard containers. I hope that doesn't mean you're eating aluminum when you use the soup. Aluminum foil, Anyway, so I cooked it up, and I microwaved it. It was so good. Oh, it was heavenly. And it was kind of expensive. I mean, it was probably... Oh, there's two deer. Oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. I don't recognize them. Of course, I was only seeing them leave. I see what's going on. They're clearing off snow drifts or snow banks on bridges. They have to clear them off in case there gets to be more. And the bridge gets too narrow. It's because there's walls on the sides of the bridges. Once upon a time, I don't know if I was making videos back then or not, but there was this bridge that we had on our road that really didn't have sides on it. It had a wire going across, and it had a big metal pole, which was supposed to be a sidebar, a side post, that was just dangling. It was hanging on the wire. I remember going there with my boys years ago and kicking snow into the stream. They had fun with that. Now you can't even get to the stream from the road, not when there's snowbanks. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Uh-oh. For your Kleenex. Here we go. Anyway, so I figured there's milk in that soup. And that was probably why I was in pain all night. No sense being in pain. Oh, you know what I learned at yoga? They showed us a skeleton, and they showed that behind the pelvic bones, there's these two little bones like that. Those are your sitting bones. And if you don't have much fat on your butt, you can feel those sitting bones very easily. If you do have a lot of fat, you might be able to feel them anyway. But they won't hurt when you sit on a hard chair. Okay, so you take those sitting bones and you sit right on those sitting bones. And then you tilt your pelvis a little bit upward. You don't even need to. Sitting on the sitting bones does tilt your pelvis a little bit upward. And did you know that, have you ever been told that the reason your back hurts is because you don't have enough stomach muscles? If I had a penny for every time I was told that, I could retire. Oh wait, I did retire. They all grew up. Okay, so if you need to strengthen those sitting bones, those stomach muscles, all you have to do is tilt your pelvis slightly so that you're sitting on your sitting bones. And now, just hold that position forever. And that is strengthening your stomach muscles. Isn't that incredible? Who would have known? Not me, not me, not me. Change the heat so it would go on my feet. Oh, it's -6. Yes, so anyway, these sitting bones, you sit on them and it tilts your pelvis back just a little bit. Or it makes it level. If you fill up your pelvis with water, and then see is this going to hold water the way you're sitting, or if you sit further, if you tilt your pelvis forward further, backward further, whatever. Anyway, so that is the very, very simple exercise for your muscles, for your stomach muscles. That's all you do. You don't have to do sit-ups, nothing complicated. You don't even have to suck in your gut. Suck it up. Ugh. Not only did they pass me, it threw up stones on my windshield and spray, salt spray. So now my whole windshield is speckled. But I do have windshield wiper fluid. I'll use it. Oh dear. There's bits of ice on my windshield wipers. Oh, there's a bus on the horizon and the sky behind it. It's kind of a pretty view. Here it comes. You might see it drive by me. There it goes. You saw it. So you can see some stuff. You can see that it's almost a blue sky over there. Or it's going to be a blue sky. Oh, look at that. It's a dappled sky. It's cloudier in town. That's the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday it was beautiful and blue in town. And I got somewhere around here. I could see it was all cloud that way. And then as I drove through it on the road where we just saw the deer, I love that road. I love those straight, skinny trees, which are the boreal forest, the most northern trees. They're skinny with a point on them. Black spruce. There is white spruce. Anyway, I don't know. On the Taku trip, there was a person that these two guides were not sure if it was black spruce or white spruce that we were seeing up there in the far north, on the Yukon, northern BC. That was quite the trip. Right up at the top of the BC. Lots of photo albums of these trips I took. It'd be neat to take a photo album out and look at it. Oh, and last night I decided I wanted to read my mother's Story of a Lifetime. It's one of those big fat books, and she wrote in it. She kept one upstairs and one downstairs, and she wrote in them all the time. Whenever they went downstairs when there was a tornado warning, and then upstairs when she was up in the living room sitting around. You know, I used to think that people that couldn't walk were really bad off. You know, people that had continual back pain. Anyway, wouldn't it be cool if this little exercise fixes my back? Woohoo! Oh, and I learned something else, which really makes me wonder. I didn't ever have bad hips. My hips were always fine. Until I drove to Georgia for 6 years. Like over 6 years, my body just went right downhill. And I think what happened, according to when you sit with your knees open or with your feet turned out, it turns your hip joints, they open. they turn, here's your bone, here's your hip bone. They turn out of the joint. No, they go like this. They turn out of the joint, exposing a lot of the top of the joint, almost popping out of the socket. That's what happens when you turn your feet out. And when you drive, like, what was it, 15 hours each way to Georgia? And also, oftentimes, when you drive, you let your leg tilt, your gas pedal, you let it tilt to the side. Well, that's exposing that joint. And I'm not sure, but it seems like that can damage the joint. And I think that's what happened to me when I went to Georgia all those times. I think that's why my hips went bad so quickly. And they were both bad, equally. But if you use a muscle or a bone or something all the time, like I knit a lot, and when I knit, sometimes my shoulder starts to hurt a bit. And when you, there are things you can do that hurt your joints. One of them is repetitive motion. Somebody was saying that they do a lot of something, and now their fingers won't work anymore. Their fingers are all arthritic. My mom used to type. She typed until she was 70, and her knuckles were all mangled up. It was amazing. You could pretty well watch her muscle or her hands get big knots in the joints. They got really big and swollen and curved a little bit. And so what I was thinking was, what if it's your, like, I would do whatever I wanted to do. I would just keep myself going. I would push on. And I don't remember my hips. I don't think I walked a lot compared to my neighbor, who walked every single morning of her life for a long walk down the road. Or not of her life, but of the last so many years. Alrighty, well, I guess I'll say goodbye. Goodbye. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.